I gotta tell you, and this is coming straight from the heart, I have never seen a more irritating, arrogant, idiotic, foolish, moronic leader in this world than Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is unfortunate enough to be the Prime Minister of this country, Canada. And I'm not a hateful person. It's even people who disagree with me, people on the left, leaders on the left. I don't hate people personally. That's not who I am. I don't hate people like Obama, Kathleen Wynne, Rachel Notley. I don't hate people. But there is something about Justin Trudeau that really pisses me off. And I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of conservatives who watch these clips of mine and they don't like the cursing. But I got to let this out. I got to let this out because you know something? We can play nice, we can play classy, but honestly, we are letting this country, this beautiful country, and this world slip through our fingertips. Let's start now with the latest irritants, the carbon tax. Justin Trudeau is now saying he's going to force provinces, all the provinces in this country, to pay a carbon tax if they don't implement their own carbon tax or cap and trade system. This is what is bad about a carbon tax. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for the environment. It's worse for the environment than anything a fossil fuel company can do. And I'm an environmentalist. I'm actually one conservative who actually is concerned about things like global warming. I want to have children one day. I hope to see my grandchildren one day, and I don't want them to live in a disgusting, polluted planet. But a carbon tax is bad for the planet because, first of all, Canada has very strict environmental laws. Now, and that's good. Let's say now you have a company in Canada, like an oil company or coal company or gas company, whatever. And by the way, Canada emits teeny bits of carbon compared to the rest of the world. But you're inviting these companies, when you implement a carbon tax, to move to places like China, to move to the United States, to move to Mexico, to move to India, to move to wherever the hell in this world. And many of these countries have almost zero environmental laws. So you're putting another tax on these businesses. They say, look, I'm fed up with this BS. I'm going to China. I'm going to America. And they have the license now to spew whatever the hell they want in the air, making the environment even worse for mankind. You look at pictures of China, you can barely see the buildings, you can barely see the streets, you can barely see the people because of the smog, the smoke, the pollution. Because many of these Western companies, which leave America and Canada and wherever to come to China to spew whatever they want. And it's big companies that are going to be affected. I mean, forget jobs. It's bad for the environment. And this is not the thing that really irritates me about Trudeau. It's his arrogance. It's his smugness. It's like you want to just... You see a picture of him on TV and you want to just slap the smug out of his face. He's being questioned in question period. We have question period every day. Jason Kenney asks a question about jobs in Alberta, and this smug SOB stands up and says, I have to remind the honorable member he's still in Ottawa, not in Alberta. So is Jason Kenney not supposed to ask questions about Alberta? Is Alberta not a part of Canada anymore? Alberta is just because Alberta didn't vote with Trudeau, they're one of the few provinces that didn't drink the Kool-Aid like a bunch of sheep. And so Alberta is just irrelevant now? Alberta is still a part of Canada. And I want to remind Trudeau that he is Prime Minister of all of Canada, not just Quebec or Montreal or any of the cities that voted for him. This is the thing. If he had difference of opinion, that's one thing. But to be smug and arrogant about it is quite another. And the thing that really annoys me about conservatives in Canada is they don't fight. They don't stand up. They don't have a voice. They don't try. I mean, you have the conservatives over there in the opposition. And yeah, they say tough words. They say tough enough things. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, we've said our things. Now let's go home and eat our dinner and go sleep. I know there's not much you can do in a majority, but you got a boatload of senators who are conservatives in the Senate, and they're not doing anything. And I don't expect them to do anything. It's a go along, get along thing. And that's what conservatives do in this country from time immemorial. It's two things that really irritate me about the conservatives in this country. Number one, they don't fight back. And number two, they split apart. If you split apart, you're splitting the vote, whether it's conservative, progressive conservative and reform, progressive conservative, social credit, whatever. I'm not saying that there isn't legitimate reason to split, but instead get somebody to lead the party and the conservatives will vote for that person. Don't split up. You guys gotta fight. We have to fight. We have to stop this madness. We are letting this country, this beautiful country, which could have such potential, slip through our fingertips. And I have been increasingly irritated because I don't see any signs of some type of change happening or some type of rebellion against these disgusting policies of the Trudeau government happening. We have to stop this. We have to sign petitions. We have to protest. We have to hound our members of parliament and our provincial members of parliament. If you're watching this, I don't care whether you're conservative, whether you're NDP, whether you're liberal, you gotta realize that right is right and sense is sense. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying all my policies are right, but you gotta see when you got a politician like Trudeau who we have now a huge deficit, our debt is growing, jobs are leaving in boatloads, and it's not because of low oil prices, because Saskatchewan is one of the few provinces in this country that are doing quite well with low oil prices because they have conservative, sensible, I don't even want to say conservative because, it's not about conservative or liberal anymore. It's about sense and foolishness because there have been many smart liberal and left-wing leaders in the world. We got to stop this. We have to fight. No more of this nonsense of just going on and getting along. We have to stop. We have to resist.